Formula One. Rivalry, innovation and the race of excellence. Welcome to the world of Formula One, where every curve can make the difference between glory and tragedy, and every driver fights not only against his opponents, but also against himself. This is a story of legendary rivalries, of brilliant minds that have revolutionized technique, and of moments that have marked the history of the sport. From the pioneering years, through the epic duels of Senna and Prost, to the new era of Verstappen and Hamilton, Formula One has always been a challenge without limits, where speed meets innovation. The dawning and the race for domination. It was 1950, when Nino Farina's Alfa Romeo won the first Formula One championship. But even then, in what seemed like a simple challenge between cars, there was much more. The passion of a Europe that was trying to be reborn, and the desire of the drivers to leave an indelible mark on history. Juan Manuel Fangio, the maestro, dominated the 1950s with 5 world titles, a feat that remained undefeated for decades. The rivalry between Fangio and the young challengers defined the decade. Meanwhile, cars were evolving. Supercharged engines, lightweight chassis, and the birth of the first aerodynamic strategies. But that was just the beginning. Formula One, born as a show for a few enthusiasts, was becoming the greatest stage in world motorsport. The age of knights and great rivalries. The 1970s brought a change of pace. Rivalries heated up, and among them the most famous was that between Niki Lauda and James Hunt. Two drivers diametrically opposed. Lauda, the meticulous calculator, against Hunt, the rebellious playboy. Their battle in 1976, culminating in Lauda's terrible accident at the Nürburgring, remains one of the most iconic stories. In parallel, technology was transforming Formula One. Aerodynamics began to play a central role. Front and rear wings were introduced to improve grip. Meanwhile, safety became a priority after dramatic accidents. Formula One evolved not only to win but also to protect its protagonists. Women made their appearance on the track with Maria Teresa de Filippis in the 1950s and Lella Lombardi in the 1970s, proving that talent knows no barriers. Senna vs. Prost, the total war. The 1980s and 1990s were dominated by the most epic rivalry ever. Ayrton Senna against Alain Prost. Two extraordinary drivers but opposites in every way. Senna, the aggressive and visionary genius, Prost, the professor of strategy. The most iconic moment? The 1989 Japanese Grand Prix. An accident between the two decided the championship. Prost won, but Senna took his revenge the following year on the same circuit, in an even more dramatic duel. These years also marked a huge step forward in electronics. Semi-automatic gearboxes, traction control and active suspension. Formula One was pushing towards the future, but it did not forget its spirit, spectacle and risk. The modern age and the new dynasties. With the advent of the 2000s, one name dominated above all: Michael Schumacher. With Ferrari he rewrote every record. His determination and the perfect car made him unbeatable, leading the Italian team to 6 consecutive constructors' titles. Then came Lewis Hamilton, who with Mercedes inaugurated the era of hybrid engines, winning 7 world titles. But Formula One was no longer just about domination. The rivalry with Max Verstappen exploded in 2021, culminating in the historic race in Abu Dhabi, where Verstappen won the title in a finale the world will never forget. Meanwhile, technology continued to amaze. Hybrid power units, biofuels and a commitment to a sustainable future. Formula One is not just a sport. It is an ever-evolving legend. It is made of heroes, epic battles and dreams that speed by at over 300 kilometers per hour. Today, as we celebrate its history, we look to the future. What will be the next revolution? And now, friends, tell me, what is your favorite moment in the history of Formula One? Write it in the comments and continue to follow Gossip and New to discover other exciting stories from the world of gossip and news.